Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to all. Just a sound check. If you can hear me clearly, can you please thumbs up? Okay, that's great. Okay. Uh, First of all, I would like to welcome all of you, and I would like to thanks as well for joining our technical talk session for today. We really appreciate your participation and attendance for today's session. I'm Azlan Abu Bakar, will be your moderator today, and will be assisted by Nur Sabrina Jamal Muhammad. Okay, for your information, this will be the first technical talk session, or we call it Tech Talk series, from Malaysia Joint Branch, Rina Imares Committee, which was elected for the term 2024-2025. We plan to have a series of Tech Talk almost on monthly basis for knowledge sharing purposes. And for today's session, we have two speakers who will deliver their talk with the theme of technology and digitalization in marine and oil and gas industry. So before I go further with the session, let me uh, bring you to the agenda for today's session. Sabrina, next. So very soon we're gonna have our first speaker, Omair Zahid, for the first topic, and then follow up by the second speaker. Later, we will continue with the appreciation and photo session. And last but not least, we will open for the QR code for fill up form by the participant. And from there, you will receive your participation certificate by the end of the session. So please bear with us until end of the session for that QR code. Okay. So without further ado, let me introduce you the first speaker, which is Encik Omar bin Zahid. So Encik Omar bin Zahid has involved in the industry for quite a significant years, as marine engineer on board LNG tankers for 9 years. He also has been involved in engineering consultancy, offshore operation, as well as software development. So today, Encik Omair bin Zahid will deliver his talk uh, on AI in enhancing maritime operation safety. So without further ado, I would like to hand over the screen to Encik Omar Zahid to deliver his talk. Please welcome Encik Omar.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. Just a quick sound check as well, if anyone can hear me.
Yep, clear Encik Omar.
Okay, all right. First of all, thank you for the introduction and thanks again for the invitation to present today. Okay, to start, let me just share my screen with all of you. Okay, today we will be talking about digitalization in our industry, basically maritime and offshore industry. So as we are all aware, currently there is a lot of focus on AI, and I believe it is rightly so, because if we implement it correctly, it will bring a lot of benefit to us as a industry as well to our nation as well. Okay. So just a brief introduction. Currently, I am affiliated with Bank Scott. So we are a software consultancy. Basically, we help our partner in modernizing their businesses. Okay. Our scope covers everything from research and design to full implementation of any project, depending on the requirement of our clients. Okay, so what I would like to focus on this session will be the artificial intelligence part. It will not be more on the artificial intelligence, it will be how to reach there actually. Okay, as a start, I will give a problem statement that based on my experience in the marine industry, uh, we have a lot of problems that we need to catch up with. It's all related with our regulations. We have various types of regulation that keeps on changing. So to keep up with the regulation is quite demanding and the implications are huge for us. So this is one of the area that I think will be helpful if we can implement a good digitalization strategy and eventually reach up to artificial intelligence to enhance our operation. So these are statistics from the year 2021. As we can see, there's almost 1,400 ship detention. And as we all will be aware, ship detention comes at a huge cost to the operator. Okay. The challenges that are faced by operators are, as I mentioned before, the ever-changing rules, the complexity of trading documents, depending on which area you are trading, the difficulty in finding experienced workforce, as well as retaining those workforce. And lastly, the mismanagement of various aspects in day-to-day work, in your administrative documentation, dealing with the marine departments, and so on. So all of this will contribute a lot to, we can say, mismanagement, misoperation, lost revenue, and it might also impact the safety and well-being of personnel and even the assets that are being operated. So from the statistic that I mentioned before, when we look at the details of the statistic, 41%, 41% of the detained vessels are actually, we can say that this scenario could have been eliminated. And when we study further, this scenario that I mentioned, this 41% are mostly related with ISM. So this indicates to us that the SMS that should be in place to resolve these issues are not being properly implemented. So there is one pain point that we can highlight here, that the SMS are not being completely implemented, whether it be due to some knowledge sharing from the company to the workforce, or it could be due to not updating our SMS as per the latest scenario. Okay, so what is the solution? Uh, as you know, the solution is, finally we are talking about digitalization. So the solution will always be to digitalize and use any means applicable to us to reduce human error. That's the main target. Because as a human being, there will always be some error, especially in some repetitive tasks or some mundane tasks like documentation, filling up some Excel file. There will always be some error. So how can we eliminate this? So as a company, we actually have been embarking on one research project. So we call it Simarin. And we did some research on how to make sure the solution that we are providing can help the industry. So what is Simmering? Simmering you can assume it is actually a sort of a database that we can use as a starting point to eventually reach to artificial intelligence. Okay, I will explain further as we goes on. So the main features of Simmering will be adaptability and scalability. If you go to the next slide, we can see currently there are a few solutions available in the market for digitalization. But then, does the solution really impact the client? So it will depend on the scalability and automation capability. If your software is scalable, it will have higher chances of being implemented in automation. For example, if you take something off the shelf, Microsoft Office, for example, you can take SharePoint or you can say Power Automate. These things are limited in their scalability, meaning you cannot fully customize as per your needs, and this will lead to using a software that doesn't actually resolve your pain point. Okay. So the main question will come back to where should we start then? If, for example, we buy something off the shelf and it doesn't resolve our pain point, so what should we do then? Let me share with you one scenario. Recently, hold on, yeah, this one. Okay, Magnuscope, we published one research paper regarding using of artificial intelligence and machine learning. This system was based on using a vision system, meaning you will have a camera connected to Jetson Nano. Jetson Nano is something like, what you call it? You can say a microcontroller, but with AI capabilities. So using this Jetson Nano, I will just quickly go through this document. I believe the organizer will share this with all the participants later on. Okay, the purpose of this solution is actually using a camera to detect whatever we prefer to detect and take some action based on it. For example, in this scenario, we were talking about detecting presence of people in, let's say, cold room in the storage area. Okay, so as we know, when we enter some cold room in offshore location, imagine someone is trapped inside. We do have mitigation in place. For example, we do have some alarm that can signal to people in control room that we are stuck inside. But imagine someone enter the cold room and they, for some reason, they become unconscious, right? So that's where this artificial intelligence will come in. You might be able to see on your screen now, we have three sets of picture. One is a cat, the second one is a keychain, and the third one is a baby. If we implement artificial intelligence in a frugal way, we will not be able to get the result that we want. For example, if you zoom in closely on this part, the AI is detecting this cat as 13% miniature pincher, which is definitely wrong because we know this is a cat, right? And the next part is a keychain, but it's been detected as 13.3% probability of being a can opener or tin opener, which doesn't make sense either. And as for the baby, it's detecting 18% probability of being a seat belt. Okay, because artificial intelligence, they are artificial. We need to train them. So what will happen now? We need to train the model and eventually we will get the higher probability. For example, now the system will be confident that this is 99.4% is a cat, is the probability. And it will detect 94.9% as a person. So these are much more accurate. However, if you look at this scenario, it's detecting that this keychain have a probability of 76% of being a motorcycle. Okay, the reason I'm sharing this is I would like to highlight that for any artificial intelligence application to be developed, the main point will always be data collection. So once you have enough data, from the data you can teach your software, you can teach your application to become more reliable as the time pass by. If any of you are following the tech trend, you will realize Amazon a few months or a few years back, I think they announced they are opening some convenience store where you can just walk in and take any item you want and just walk away. They will deduct the money directly from your account. But then a few months back, it came to the knowledge of the public that what was happening behind the scene was Amazon was paying a lot of, you can say, data analysts, you can say, data collection or data aggregator based in India. There were like hundreds of them. So these people were actually visually monitoring each person that are entering in the store. So you can imagine some guy sitting on the desk looking at you through CCTV and looking exactly at what you are picking up and inserting the data in the computer to eventually charge you accordingly. So I would say this is actually a fake artificial intelligence, but this shows a very huge point that I'm trying to make here, that any artificial intelligence application must come with data collection. Even company as big as Amazon, they need to do this part. It's funny, it's actually demolished their reputation a bit, but there is no other way. There is no workaround through this. You must have data collection to teach the artificial intelligence. So having said that, let, let me just go back to the slide just now. The implementation part, right? So there's actually three phases that we would highly recommend to anyone who prefer to have artificial intelligence in their organization. The first one will be identify the pain point. For us, for marine and offshore industry, I believe the pain points are almost similar to what I mentioned before. The regulation side, the operation restriction, the weather, for example. The second part will be the enterprise design thinking. This is very critical part which most of the organization actually miss out or they look away because it requires some resources to be spent, but then it will make sure the phase three, the full solution implementation will be successful. The enterprise design thinking, you can imagine it will be helping you in usability. Okay, if you look at the statistic, why 70% of digital transformation effort fails? You can say it failed because resistance from the employees, right? So it's understandable if you have an application which is slow, which doesn't perform as you wish, which doesn't make your day-to-day tasks easier, people will not be able to use it. There will be some reluctance to use it because it will add additional burden on your work. And this will translate to less data collection, or it will translate to wrong data collection, which will make your artificial intelligence basically unusable. So it's very important for you to have an application which is functioning well and which is following the user needs actually. That's why for us, we believe that uh, users' feedback is worth 1,000 meeting. So if I want to develop an application for an offshore platform, I would rather get a feedback from person who have been there, who is involved with the daily operation, to give me feedback rather than have an internal meeting on how to develop an application. Okay, so let me just quickly move on to the Seamarine. So here, when we developed the Seamarine, our main target was to ensure the usability, as we mentioned before, and make sure the scalability of the application, meaning you can scale to any scenario, whether you are ship operator, you are uh, oil major, you are offshore support vessel operator, anything. So this should be applicable to you based on your own scenario. So when we look at this, right, our region actually covers all more than half of the percentage of trading that been happening around the world. So in my opinion, we should be the pioneer in this field. So especially in the shipping, maritime, offshore oil and gas, we should be the pioneer in enhancing our operation. First and foremost to increase our safety as well as increasing our revenue. So I believe this can be done using digital transformation. When we do this, the side impact will be our ship will have higher standard. We will comply with all the regulation. And again, we will save a lot of money in this. And I will just share one chart with you down here. Okay. This is how we believe any digital transformation activity should be done in an organization. You will have something that you would like to manage. It can be your fleet, it can be your any kind of asset, right? So the first part will be database creation. Once you have the database, it can be simple things like how often you would like to carry out some work order, or how many ships you have, how many documents you need to process. Then all of this database will be processed according to your requirement. Like in our example here, we will take the base will be the technical library for, because in marine industry, everything will come back to the regulation, whatever been defined, for example, by class or by our flag state. So we need to comply. That will be the basis. From there, we can expand to any future modules. You can expand it to safety module. You can expand to work order management, CMMS, inventory management, or anything. And once you have identified your pain point and what you want to do, then you will take the next step for notification and planner, meaning what are the action that need to be done. For example, if you implement CMMS, the CMMS will uh, process the data according to the technical library. For example, you need to carry out annual survey on your vessel. It will automatically create a work order that on this date or on this month, you need to carry out inspection of your cargo oil tank. So by doing this, you minimize any impact that any activity will be missed out. So from there on, if we expand this to the whole asset or we expand it to the whole organization, you can imagine the impact that it will have on your organization. So the key point that I would like to highlight here is everything that we are doing, we must make sure that the basic step is there. I will just quickly share with you guys. This will be the last part of my presentation. The sample for database collection, right? As you can see on my screen now, we collected some data from load register. So as you all know, they have a lot of regulation to be complied with. So for example, if we take regulation related with LNG tankers, for example. So the database is complete here. So we have everything we need. We have the requirement for cargo pressure control, for example. We can go inside, everything is there. We can use this data to train the model to eventually make sure that our ship is in compliance. For example, if you have a survey, through the application, we can put our finding, and based on artificial intelligence, it can highlight to you that what needs to be done. Is the thickness still under the minimum allowable limit, or do we need to go for dry docking? And if we need to go to dry docking, the cost impact will be calculated. So we can go as far as you want, as long as you are willing to invest in this technology. Uh, Talking about the changes in regulation, right? For example, we will have some notices, maybe some changes come in effect. So for example, for the manufacturing, testing, and certification of material, there is some notice released by load register. So once it's updated in the database, all of this information can automatically be extracted. You can see, right, if we need to do this manually, for example, they redact some statement and they add some new statement. If you need to do this manually, you will be spending, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 dedicated person just to accomplish this task yearly. So by having AI, you can implement all of this directly into your application. And I think it will help make our asset always in compliance with regulation, which will translate to higher revenue and higher compliance rate. So first of all, you will immediately notice that our reputation will goes up. And the other impact will be that once your revenue goes up, your reputation goes up, you will have higher capability to attract greater talent. And from there, the cycle will create an avalanche effect and push you to get greater talent, and the greater talent will make your organization better, and the cycle will continue. So this is actually what we are trying to achieve in our industry. And hopefully, as the time goes on, our industry will, you can say, like, we will be the pioneer in this industry worldwide, and people will look at us as the standard bearer. So I believe that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Omer, for the insightful sharing. Uh, so now let us open for any question from the floor. If there are any, can you please unmute and you can directly ask your question. Is there any burning question perhaps from the audience? Or while waiting for any question from the floor, perhaps I can uh, ask my question as well, Mr. Omair. First, uh, perhaps you can share as well what are the challenges in getting uh, the confidence from the stakeholder lah, towards having this AI concept or for this approach. What are the what are the challenges that you have faced in getting their confidence toward this, Omar?
Okay, allow me to share my screen again. Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. There will always be challenges, and for the stakeholder, it will always come back to the business side. It will be related with the cost, and because any business in the world, the final target will be how to generate more income, right? So I will share with you one slide here. The business value. This is how we will convey our message to the stakeholder. So if you can see the graph on your right side, the blue color is the one who have been actively digitalizing their operation, and the green one are the others, meaning they are not actively engaging in upgrading their system to use latest technologies and artificial intelligence and whatnot. Even the basic things such as moving your, let's say, permit to work to electronic permit to work, for example, anything based on digital solution. The profitability increase more than double, and it's predicted in the next 3 years it will be greater margin, right? You can see the margin here just 35%, and later on it will move closer to 40% margin in the next 3 years. Revenue growth as well, you can see it's almost 3 times. And all of this indication will translate to revenue, and this is how we can convince the stakeholder. Uh, because from our understanding, we can talk about operation and safety, right? But for the decision maker in any organization, they will always have to balance between how much money to spend to make the ship safe, as well as to make sure that their revenue is not impacted. So because in the end, they are in a money-making business. So this is how we will convey the message that if they invest now, it will be much better in the long run, rather than, for example, if let's say after 3 years, they would like to implement the digital solution in their organization, they will be too far behind any of their competitor to catch up. So most of the time, we will encourage the companies that are already ahead. For example, in Malaysia, you can imagine MISC, for example. We would highly encourage them to use this opportunity while they are still the market leader to stay a few steps ahead of their competitors. I hope that
Okay,
answer the question.
okay, noted. Yeah. Thanks for your answer, Mr. Omer. So again, let's see if there is any question. Yeah, we have two questions actually from the chat. Number one, has there been any track record on your services for vessel management of marine roads? That's number one. Number two, how do you sell your services modular? Uh, so perhaps, Mr. Lim Yu Yao, do you want to elaborate further on this question for Mr. Omer to answer?
Oh, hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, just want to ask what you mentioned about the vessel route, right? I think in the front, like, are you like getting? I mean, I'm just curious what track records you have on this your yeah, what do you call it? Your AI software, and the second is yeah, how do you sell your things? I mean, how do you sell the service? Because it's like it's very abstract, right? We don't know how to get it from, or what do we, how can we improve the business? I mean, existing business. So that's the question. Thank you.
Okay, understood. So you will be talking about our solution that we are providing here, right? Okay, as for the track record, we don't have track record for this. So this solution we have been developing this solution for the past, let's say, 2 years, but we haven't actively approached any, for example, any client to use this. The reason being that we would like to get a few things right first. Like I mentioned, the artificial intelligence side, there are a lot of variables with the regulation and compliance with the Marine Department. So you can see we are still in R&D phase for this. But uh, I think sometimes next year we will be expanding this and going public and start approaching clients for this software. So as for the track record, we are still in the research and development part, because if I show you this slide here, right, we would like to get these things right first, because we have been talking with, for example, marine industry, shipping companies, and for example, offshore operators, like FPSO operators. They are both look similar. They have ships being converted to FPSO, and they have some ships being sailing on the other hand. But the regulations that are being implemented there are quite different. So we are taking this opportunity to collect as much data as we can and try to train our AI model. So when the time comes that we approach our client, they wouldn't have to invest so much on the data collection side. Because for our client later on, time will be very valuable for them. They will not be willing to wait, let's say, 1 year for us to do data collection. So we are doing that beforehand before finally go live with our solution.
Okay, thank you. So where are you doing the data collection? Just out of curiosity.
Data collection, most of them we are doing from publicly available resources. For example, if you go to some government website, if not only in Malaysia, for example, if you go to Norway government website, the Norwegian government, they have very detailed guideline. Even the UK government, they have very detailed guideline on the regulations. And as well as we are approaching classification societies, and we are getting comparison between all of the classification societies as well. So once we have all the regulation that are being implemented, from there our target is get the data, translate that to the work order, to CMMS, computerized maintenance management system. For example, you have Maersk Viking, for example. So we will be able to know where is this ship coming from, who are the flag state, which area is operating. From there, we can just delegate this asset to our AI model. So we can input data that is operating in Norwegian waters or operating in Pacific Ocean. And from there, the order can be generated. Like you need to carry out 10 types of survey, and in the next 3 months, you will need to carry out, I don't know, underwater inspection, for example. So our data are mostly collected from publicly available sources for now. Because once we have access to our client's database, then only we can implement further fine-tune the data.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Omair, for your answer. Is there any question from the audience? Further question? Okay.
Hi, Mr. Azan. I would like to ask some question to Mr. Omair. Can?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Mr. Omair.
Hello.
Hi. I introduce myself first. My name is Raja. I'm from National Defence University of Malaysia, Year 2 in Bachelor of Maritime Technology. Just want to ask you some question. Where I want to ask you, what are the biggest challenge to implement this system?
Okay, biggest challenge is I would say there are two. The first one will be the cost. The cost relatively looking to other solution, like if you compare, for example, SharePoint or Microsoft Excel, the cost impact on organization having a dedicated application and using off-the-shelf applications is huge. But if you compare with the chart that I showed earlier, the revenue and the growth that the return on investment that you will get within 3 years is actually less than 10% of the growth that you will be achieving. So to convey this message to the stakeholder is one of the biggest challenge from the revenue side. So because any decision that we make, doesn't matter how good it is, the cost will always play an impact in this. So this is the first main challenge. The second challenge is the data collection. There are cases like we approach some clients when they are interested, but even they themselves don't have any database that we can use. So we need to develop the database from scratch. For example, if we have been asking them for their asset, what is the status of your asset? How many work orders have been completed since you obtained this asset? They don't have that information. So like the machinery, how many maintenance have been done on certain machinery to ensure the reliability, integrity, and asset integrity calculation. They don't have this kind of data. So these are the friction that we have, because once they don't have the data, we need to explain to them what we need to do, and due to the time needed to implement, they are a bit reluctant. So these are the two main challenges, how to convince our industries to implement this solution.
Oh, I see. All right.
Mm.
Talking about the system where I mean the second challenge that you are that just now that you are taught was to take the data collection, right?
Yeah.
Um, is it the system need to improve or need to find another technologies that can apply that can align with the AI to improve the data collection?
No, once you already have a database, right? For example, like I mentioned before, for example, the product that we are developing right now, Simmering. So once you already implement, all the data will be processed inside that application. You only need to have one single application. Doesn't need to be our application. You can choose any application that you trust. So this application, that's why when I mentioned regarding the scalability, right? The scalability is so important. Uh, Let me just share my screen again to you. If you see here, I did mention a few. We did some comparison with other apps available on the market, right? I believe some of you might be familiar with this Navatom Ship Manager, Busnet, and everything, right? So the issue will be here if you want to implement AI, how scalable is the application? For example, if Mari apps or Navatom, for example, they have their software is working well, but they don't have any machine learning or any integration capability behind. It will be limited to a certain extent. You will not be able to implement AI. So you only need a one single application, but you must make sure you can say it's a future-proof application. So you need to have this. Once you have it, you can expand to the possibilities are basically limitless.
Right. Understood, Mr. Omair. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Omair, again for your answer on the question highlighted. So, due to the time constraint, I think we have to stop the Q&A session for the first speaker. Let's move on to second speaker. But before that, please give a round of applause to Mr. Omair Zahid. Thank you, Mr. Omair.
Thank you, everyone. Just a quick one. I will share my email and contact number in the chat. So if you have any further question, you can contact me later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. So let's go into our second honorable speaker, which is IRTS Muhammad Sahir Ahmad Shatiri. So IRTS Muhammad Sahir, experience in oil and gas business for about 16 years in both operation, offshore and offshore projects. In with Petronas, he is currently leading in various positions, starting as operation engineer, production supervisor, lead commissioning and startup commissioning and startup specialist or manager for construction and commissioning work for various offshore gas, oil and gas brownfield and greenfield projects for pipeline replacement, new SPP, new wellhead, as well as offshore facility. IRTS Muhammad Sahir has degree in mechanical engineering from UTM, and he also has a master of project management. So the topic that will be covered by him will be transform towards the digitalization of 30 years mature field by demanding to reduce operating costs. OPEX. So without further ado, please welcome IRTS M. Sahir Ahmad Shatiri to deliver his talk. IR Sahir. Okay.
Hello, sorry ada masalah teknikal sikit. Ya. Sebentar. Dengar suara? Clear?
Yep, clear.
Alright. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, nampak dah. Slide ada nampak tak?
Ada.
Alright, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Afternoon to all. Okay, today saya akan present on the one of the topic lah. Thank you to Mr. Chairman for today event. IRTS Cik Azlan bin Abu Bakar. So insyaAllah today I will present with regard a title of Transform Toward Digitalization of 30 years mature field by demanding to reduce the operational expenditure OPEX. So this paper has been presented also in one of the conference organized by SPE. Okay, we'll move to next. Right. So this is the presentation outline. So we'll cover some basic introductions. And second, we move to the one of the field under brownfield and greenfield projects. And then we move to the main goal for this project. And we will see some condition of the existing field before and post the simplification projects. And we go some of the activity conducted to transform this old field platform or matured platform toward digitalization and move some to project challenges and also mitigation. And finally, we move to the conclusion and also key takeaway. Right. So briefly, the introduction. So if you can see that this is the one of the field in Malaysia lah. So they are performing the brownfield and also greenfield project. So they are the scope cover including modifying and also the existing manual operation towards the digital operations. And then the field has been operated since 1978 lah. So basically they are more than 30 years. And then they are upgrading the existing facilities, basically to minimize the operating cost, one of the target lah, to ensure there's continuity of the production from this field. Right. So there are four main goals. So the first main goal is to increase the allege lah, because they are because as mentioned earlier that the projects cover a greenfield and also brownfield project. So there are requirement lah to increase the allege of the existing facility in order for us to put additional volume of gas and also oil to the existing facilities. And secondly is to transform the current operation lah towards the digitalization operations, because currently they are still operating with the old system. So we are converting into digitalization so that we can monitor and also remote monitoring of the existing platform. And third is to reduce the operating cost lah. This basically one of the platform we are performing by demanding of the existing LQ platform in order for us to minimize or reduce the operating cost. And finally is the to reduce the GHG lah, produced during the operation, by improve the by having the digitalization and install some other equipment that can reduce the carbon footprint to atmosphere. So however, in this slide, we cover only element 2, 3, and 4 lah. So element 1 will not cover in detail because we are focusing on digitalization. So this is next slide is cover in terms of the before and post simplification project. So if you can see, this is the condition of the existing platform whereby it's before the projects, where we can see that all these platforms are not intercorrelated lah, so that we cannot see, let's say this platform BA, they cannot see BB and also BB lah, B and BB. So after the post simplification project, we are ability that we can have remote monitoring lah. B can see B and also T can see B and also BA and also BB lah. So by having the digitalization, actually we can monitor remotely all these platforms. Right. So next will be the post simplification project. So post simplification mainly is that the TA will be the hub lah. TA will be the hub for this field where we can monitor the rest of the platform lah. So the monitoring in terms of the process and also the production, well condition, process facility. Basically, we can even monitor from this TA, BA and also BB. The things that I mentioned earlier that about the demanding of the existing platform. So will be this BA lah. So BA is currently they have the living quarters. So we will converting this as an unmanned platform. Then the mothball lah, the existing LQ, so that all the operation will be monitoring from TA lah. Right. So next will be the to transform the current operation to the nation lah. So the first one I think is we also introduce the CCTV lah. We added more CCTV to the platform. This is mainly about for security and operation monitoring. And also the third will be the critical facility upgrading lah, in terms of the instrumentation, control, and also monitoring design, such as pneumatic field instrument conversion. We install a lot of smart electronic, and then we converting of BA and BB, normally manned to unmanned facilities. And also we have a remote control so from other platform, so that TA can monitor BA and also BB. And then we facilitate local and remote indication. So everything we can have remote monitoring in terms of the conditions, status, well, opening, shutdown, and whatnot. Next. All right. Next will be this is one of the things that I mentioned earlier. This is about the transform the current operation to digitalization. So we will install connectivity like DMR, a new connectivity, so that we can monitor remote monitoring from one of the platform to the rest of the platform. So there are a lot of telecommunication system to be upgraded towards all the existing platforms, so that we can interlink in terms of the security, monitoring, instrumentation, and controls. Right. Second is about demanding. I mentioned earlier of this presentation. So we are demanding of the existing LQ at the BA. So to operate of the existing BA platform chain to usually unmanned lah. So no more manned. Then we centralize all the control and monitoring from the platform TA. So and then the existing LQ will be demanding lah mobile emissions. Yeah. Next, third will be about the sustainability initiative lah. Apart from digitalization, we also improve in terms of the sustainability lah. In terms of this field XY. So the main three things that we improve in terms of improve the lower GHG value at this field. First, significant simplification process lah at all platform using digitalization, because whenever we improve in terms of digitalization, all the process will be we able to fine tuning better lah. All the data, big data, everything we can combine and analyze toward improving the overall process tuning. Secondly, I think mothball of the gas turbine compressor and generator at one of the platform BA. so that we can reduce the carbon footprint lah, exhaust and whatnot from the existing gas turbine compressor and also generator. And third is installation of vapor recovery unit (VRU) at the TA. So vapor recovery unit is to improve the gas utilization to reduce the flaring. So they are improve monetization of the LP gas, and then we can reduce the flaring at the TA platform. And then next will be the this is the distillation kind of distillation that we are improve. So they are by having historian and also training data. So we having this data, we can collect and also improve the overall operation in terms of fine tuning, stability and whatnot. And then we also control and monitoring lah from TA platform. And thirdly is one of the thing we install panel, EOS panel installed at the platform. So this integration of the system so that we can improve the overall process monitoring and control of the platform. Integrated with others, the rest of platform from BA and also BB. So this the third one will be the mothball of the gas turbine, compressor and generator. We replace with the gas engine generator. So based on the data, we capture that with the ratio of the efficiency gas engine is 48.5 to 49 compared to gas turbine, 29 to 33%. So by having the more efficiency, I think then also the less consumption of power. So we mothball the LQ and also we reduce some of the equipment so that we repeat the gas engine generator to become new power supply to generate power for unmanned platform, new unmanned platform BA. So this is the picture of the gas engine generator during the FAT. Next will be the VRU lah. I mentioned earlier. One of the platform we install VRU. So this is the mother platform lah. The mother that control all other platform. We install VRU because there will be a hub for gas and also oil. So that's why we will introduce this VRU so that we can estimate about 80% carbon dioxide emission reduction lah from VRU installation from the existing operation. So by having that, I think we can reduce a lot of amount of carbon lah to atmosphere. Right. So next will be the some of the project challenges and mitigation lah. So I believe this is one of the project in Petronas so that we want to improve the overall process of the platform, field, and also transform of the platform into digitalization. So that of course it will not kita kata definitely without any challenges. So the challenges first is the clear scope and boundary definition because it's covered in terms of the brownfield and also greenfield. So we require a thorough discussion during feed and also engineering stage but early participation from the asset owner and also other stakeholder. Secondly, we need to manage high number of construction personnel because there are a lot of job to be done, especially brownfield project. So about 1,000 construction crew. So high number construction crew will pose to high risk because there are lots of man hours, so potentially a lot of challenges and also risks to be there. So some mitigation, we conduct some of the IPOP workshop with all parties so that we can discuss what is the things that we need to taking care in place. And third, we will be performing the integrated commissioning and startup because the challenges, of course, we need to link up all the existing platform, more than 2 platform, I think almost 6-7 platform. So there are challenges because we need to perform the integrated commissioning startup with the existing brownfield platform and a new platform. So that's why we need to have SSU planning project. The strategy CSU needs to be strategized from the feed during engineering and also post FC so that we can finalize and firm up with our strategy. So that is the conclusions So it's been translated lah. Key deliverable simplification project achieved. So there is current operations. We are toward digitalization operation, but we need to have stabilization and monitoring lah. Even the project has been towards the end, we need to monitor still because we need to ensure that they are achieve the project milestone. And the specific project has reduced operating cost lah by remaining existing platform. So they are targeting about 4.2 OPEX reduction in the next 25 years operation. And finally, this project introduced to reduce the JSG produced during the operation 80% carbon O2 for the next 20 years in operations. And finally, this is the key takeaway lah, so that all the audience here can get some summarize of this project. So offshore operation digitalization and also simplification. So we can increase the efficiency and also productivity. Actually, we have a lot of opportunity to have the real data access. We can predict the maintenance and also enhance decision making because we have a lot of data. So we can have data driven insight and also centralized control. And then improve safety and risk management. So we can enhance the safety and risk mitigation by installation of a lot of CCTV, and also we have remote monitoring. And of course, finally is to reduce cost reduction by reduce the personnel cost because we reduce the operation teams so that we can have centralized monitoring platform and lower operational cost lah. I think that's my last slides. I think that's all. Thank you. I pass back to Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much, Sahir, for the talk. Interesting topic as well. So I would like to open for any question, if any, from the floor. You may proceed, or you can unmute and speak directly to the speaker. Okay, perhaps to start the ball rolling, and the Q&A, I have one question to Sahir. For this making unmanned, the platform unmanned, is it applicable if we can replicate it to all other brownfield? What is the key factor that we can say it is feasible or it is not feasible to replicate for others? That's all. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So of course, determination of whether the project we can consider is unmanned or not possible unmanned. I believe based on the target operational cost lah. So I believe there is not the first project in Malaysia lah, because in Sarawak, I do believe we have several platform dah introduced to unmanned lah, such as I think mistaken Tukau, Selutong and whatnot. So because I believe the driven is in term of first operation lah, operational punya condition, whether we can have this remote monitoring or not, or maybe we can have with the unmanned platform how fast we can mitigate or intercept in case of any emergency or maybe process downtime to restart back the platform. And then for digitalization, of course, we need to make sure that the platform also not too old. I think because if too old with any good facilities, we are not able to install a new digital equipment, such as I believe I mentioned earlier about we install a lot of electronic devices. So of course we need to make sure that the platform capacity able to cater for this new technology lah, in term of power, in term of condition of the process system as well lah. That need to be consideration as well. And then of course we compare back to the production lah, because PAC, let's say for the next 25 years, whether that introduction of digitalization can cover or not lah, in terms of the what we spend now lah, and so what we can get from the expenses that we cater for digitalization, such as we improve the productivity, also efficiency of the process, whether it's sufficient enough or we can maintain with the existing operation with the good economic study. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have one question in the chat from Ahmad Sama. Is project currently completed and ongoing or in the planning stage?
Yeah, the project currently is toward the end of the execution. Currently, I think the post ready for startup, they already startup and still ongoing stabilization lah. I think there's still a lot of fine tuning of the process. I believe because of the combination of new facility and also existing facilities. So yeah, to answer is ongoing, tapi towards the end lah. All the installation of the equipment device modification already completed. Now I think we are ongoing toward the FPTR lah, facility performance test run. Tapi towards that, I believe we need to prepare lah, some challenges we encounter lah when we start up back the platform, because some of the process, because brownfield, as you know that we can only tested the hydrocarbon system when we start up the platform lah. Because the introduction of hydrocarbon after we start up the platform, only then we can testing all the system and check the functionality of the system lah. So that will be the things that we encounter some challenges lah. Right.
Okay,
Any
thank you.
question? Yeah.
And the next question, using DF engine is tricky from the view of operator, especially in tropical region. How to mitigate the ambient temperature that influencing the DF engine parameters?
DF engine, DF. We are converting of the existing platform using gas engine generator. They mentioned about DEG.
No,
Sorry.
diesel fuel engine.
Oh no. Now we are converting to GEG, gas engine generator. So far we are already tested the gas engine generator. So far, okay. Not much trouble lah. So far we are okay. Just a matter of to sync lah the gas generator with the existing DEG lah. The thing we have some challenges lah. So they are currently ongoing. However, in terms of the new gas engine generator, we have tested. We have performed the endurance test. So far, we don't encounter any issue lah on the gas engine generator lah. Yeah. I hope to answer lah, because to answer the question. Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Cik Ahmad Sama?
Because we are not using, we are not introducing new DEG lah, this engine generator. We are actually introduce gas engine. DEG is existing lah, so I could not explain much lah on about the question.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other question from the floor? Okay, if none, then perhaps we can go to the, okay, we have one question. Oh, okay, sorry. That's related to question from the first topic. It's okay. By the way, so we have come to the end of the second topic presentation from Sahir. Thank you very much, Sahir, for your speech, for your talk. And before we go to the end of the session, us have let us have let us take picture, and I would like to request the audience, the speaker and the audience here, to please open your camera for us to take picture, and then last we will share the QR code for the for the talk. Okay. I have problem with my camera. It's not that I don't want to take I don't want to open my camera, but I have problem with my camera. Sorry for that.
Tak hati lah Chairman tak on.
Okay. Okay. We have few more. Not yet. Mr. Omar Zahid.
On already,
Okay.
open already.
Okay, good. Tab, also you can open if you are okay. Mr. Lim, Ahmad Sama, and Arina Zarudin. Okay, let us take a picture.
Okay, if everyone's ready, I'll take a screenshot of the screen now.
Okay, in 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, hold on.
I have to move to the next screen.
Oh, dia second page.
Yeah. Okay, and we're done.
Perhaps a freestyle. Freestyle.
Oh, freestyle also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on.
In 3, 1,
First screen.
2, 3.
Alright.
Sorry, can I
Okay,
have the
now.
second screen? I'll just do one more. One.
I'm not sure whether I'm second screen or first screen.
Yeah, it's okay. One, two,
Everyone just
three.
maintain thumbs up. Just say thumbs up.
All right, thank you.
Alright.
Okay, that's great. So thank you very much to all. And then, Sab, can you please show the QR
Yep.
code?
Sure.
So we will display the QR code and appreciate for the audience to scan the QR code, fill up your name that you want to make it appear in the certificate. Please fill up your email address as well. And if there is any feedback for the session, you can put it in the form as well. So once you have submitted, you will receive the certificate within few days. Yeah.
If there's any issue of getting the certificate, you can just email or message me in the group and I'll issue it to you. I'll also post the QR code in the chat just in case.
Okay. With that, we have come to the end of the session. Again, please give a round of applause to both our speakers. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Omair and IR Sahir. So we would like to thank as well for all joining the session today. So we hope to see you again in the next Tech Talk session, which will be in January 2025, the new year. So with that, we end our session today. Thank you again, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, IRKS
Waalaikumsalam.
Azlan and all.
Salam, thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Um,
Thank you.
okay, welcome. Stop, just maintain the QR code there.
Sure,
Display
sure. Okay.
right for the next 5 to 10 minutes.